Greetings everyone, a warm welcome, namaste, hey, happy new year, yay, let's see this 2019 energies roll on in. So we move into the energies of a 12 vibration, which of course breaks down to a 3. Last year in 2018 was the 11 vibration, which is the 2. So if you were listening to my December readings, you will know I talked a lot about setting your intentions in the month of December and before the year ends. Well, January comes to us with the activation energy. So because it's a new month and a new year, it's all about activating and pushing through those passions, dreams and desires and intentions. Now, we will be doing for the readings 3 different decks of cards. The first one is the one you see before you, the John Holland deck. Only one card from this because it is going to operate as a kind of background energy that you can utilize for the year. So you can kind of call on this and you can use it to either make changes to situations or to add its energy or to interpret what you might like to change within your way you address certain things as the year rolls in. Another important aspect of January is we do have the eclipses starting at the very beginning of the year, so it makes it a year of quite good possibilities, in as much that activating those intentions at the beginning of the year with the energy of an eclipse behind it can be really powerful and worth investing the time and energy in. So I did some intuitive work for you before your reading, and you got this following mantra, and it says, "We are all family and the planet is our home. I am one with the power and wisdom of the universe. I have all that I need." So wow, that was a beautiful mantra in and of itself. You also got 2 numbers, 8 and 9. And you got the colours blue, red and yellow, as well as cosmic energy and the white ray. So quite a lot of messages that came, power balling through for you guys. So I hope that you can find some, power from those mantras alone and some interest in them as well. You can choose to put the mantra under your pillow or on your fridge or write it down, because they're very positive, powerful words and they're chosen for your signs. That they jump forth for your particular sign. So let's start with seeing what card you are getting from this deck. So this is for Sagittarius for January 2019, and we will be taking from the 8th card down, because the first number you got was the 8. Now remember, 8 is the manifesting number. So, and it said that you have power and wisdom of the universe and you have all you need. So focus on that if you feel there are times when you are lacking. So this is Sagittarius for January 2019, and we will be taking from the 8th card down. One more. Okay. 8th card. Let's see what it is. Oh my gosh. I started off with Capricorns, and you guys are the last reading, but right from Capricorn we had aces coming through, and I said, I can't believe how many aces have turned up, and they're from different decks as well, so not just from the same deck. And I said at the time it's really synchronistic that it's January, it's a beginning of a new year, and all these aces are coming out, because we can go for many, many months and never see an ace. So I think for these readings there have been about 8 or 9 aces turn up, which in the greater picture or scheme of things, that's an awful lot of new beginnings and new potentials that people can jump on that bandwagon and utilize that cosmic energy. So this ace, the triumphant success, is one that comes to you from You can see the hand sort of coming out of the ground there. He's so determined that he's not going to be left behind or pushed around or have an opportunity, you know, where he's not selected, for instance. You can see that on this side it's a darker colour palette, but from here where the light is shining comes the triumphant success. So this ace in particular, it is the Ace of Swords. It often comes to us when we have had a trying time, when we have been feeling as though we've had to push to find this success or to find the achievement or the reward. So it can turn up when we go through things like dissolutions or the endings of cycles and a new one begins. Of all the aces, all aces are about new beginnings, and they are all positive in as much that they generally bode success for yourself. But of all the aces, this is the one that carries perhaps the sword feeling, you know, a little bit of a prickle about it. So I have seen this card sometimes turn up when things like divorces are finalised and the papers come through and you sign the papers. Sometimes it can be when there has been a contest of something, like you might have been trying to sell something like a house, and then the purchasers are contesting the price of it, or they're saying there's something wrong with it, and it goes through a legal system to have it rectified. Sometimes this ace will turn up when you might have been wanting to purchase a business and there are issues in the background that are finally getting sorted. Sometimes it might be when you've wanted a loan and you've gone to your bank and applied for a mortgage and they've taken months to agree to it, or they've said come back in 3 months, and this is that moment. So this is the moment of, after trying for something, you finally go, yay, yay, it's come through, it's working. So it's very much about not giving up. It's about following through and crossing the T's and dotting the I's and doing due diligence, and, you know, just having faith that the future holds the change that you want in one direction or another. So do remember that the aces are powerful, they're poignant, and they give us opportunities of new beginnings. So it is a wonderful card to start with, and it generally, as I say, proves that you have tenaciously come through something that you have outly believed in and believed could come to fruition. So yay, you know, it's a positive card. And for those of you who haven't felt like there is anything around that you have had to be chasing or following up on, or has had a few stalling processes, then this card could be about something that is coming that you will also have triumphant success in. So remember to just broaden your thinking and allow the universe to open the doors of what this ace could be. So we'll put this one away and we will start on the other cards. I'll just wind this back a little bit. So this is for Sagittarius. We will just be taking from the top card from the Morgan Greer deck. This is for January 2019. That's it, guys. Okay. So your first card is the Knight of Cups. Your second card is the Queen of Cups. I think that's his mother sometimes, looking at him. The third card is the Six of Cups. And your fourth card is the Temperance. So we feel lots of emotions or love connectivity going on here with this reading, and all of these cups that are coming in, and the one major arcana. Now I tend to say that these 4 cards don't necessarily have to flow for each week of the month, but some people may feel that the energy comes to them in that dynamic. So let's just start on the left with the Knight of Cups. The Knights and the Pages are usually the messenger stage of life, when we get messages of some sort, or when something is in its newness or beginning point, like the Ace. So yeah, they're similar energies as an Ace. This Knight of Cups is a wonderful one. He comes to you from the feeling of the heart and of love and nurture and offerings along those lines. he can traditionally be known as someone who is potentially coming to offer, you know, like maybe a new romance on the scene, or a new lovely friendship that is really tender and caring and supportive. So for some of you, that's what this could very well mean. If it's not that, then he bodes the energy of the emotions and love. So given that you've got 3 in a row of the cup cards, you guys could have this just general all-round feeling as the year moves in. You might be seeing people that you haven't seen for a long time, family members, where there's this great feeling of reconnection, or getting back to the basics, or feeling the emotion, or remembering the love, because that's what this card is as well. You know, the 6 of Cups is often about going to reunions, or meeting up with people you haven't seen in a long time, or going back to the feelings of the childhood, fondness and gaiety and happiness and memories. So some of you, the childhood thing could be playing a role here. There might be new children on the scene, or you might be reconnecting with distant relatives, such as great nieces or nephews, or something along those lines, or cousins. And I said that before, this looks like his mother, and these look like they're their cousins, and maybe they're attending a wedding, or a celebratory event, or even sometimes a funeral. It can be like a get-together of a distant family members that all come together for some sort of meeting. But there's this fondness, and there's this careful consideration of emotions and tenderness and love and support. I'm just trying to work through the messages here. So if these 2 are actually people, they usually do denote water sign energy people, and if it's not their sun sign, then it can be their moon and rising sign. So there is a possibility these people are around you as well as potential new partners, especially with that Knight of Cups. Or if it's the Queen of Cups, she could be like a Cancer or a Pisces or a Scorpio person that's like a friend, or an auntie, or a relative, or a neighbour, or a community leader of something, and you're spending time with them, or there's something that they're supporting you with or helping you with as well. So they don't usually bode negativity, but they can bring up emotional feelings. So whether or not there's something around them that creates this connection of emotion or intensity of feelings, that's a possibility. So if we come back to this one and we see the 6 of Cups again, this, I've talked a little bit before about the fact that it can be going back in time to the childhood. So quite often school reunions and things like that come up, or going to visit a place you grew up in when you were a child, or reconnecting with very distant friends or relatives through events, or just happening upon them, and all these memories are reignited. It can also be a card that is often associated with an ex-lover turning up. So there's a possibility that some of you may reconnect with someone from your past who was a romantic partner. And sometimes this is a reignition of the relationship, and certainly there's plenty of love in this. So some of you might, get back with someone who you'd been with in the past. It might work quite well. There's a possibility that you might want to do some healing work from the relationship as well. You know, if something had been, if you'd left each other in a really negative way, or there was bad karma around it, it might be a time to resolve that and to heal it. And the Temperance card kind of tells you that at the very end of the reading. Temperance talks to us about balance more than anything, and balancing the emotions in particular. So we've got this whole, there's all this kind of like lovely kind of stuff going on over here, and wow, fantastic, and love and romance and feeling the love. And then Temperance is at the end going, yes, well, don't get too excited, don't get over the top about this. We've got to ground ourselves still. So Temperance is like the party police in the corner. In fact, her face looks quite grave. So she's reminding you, and it's not really a she, it's kind of an androgynous angel, but he, she is reminding you to balance all perspectives and dynamics of your life, not just allow your emotions to get out of control with this. So if you're feeling overtly emotional around love or family or people or situations, you need to ask yourself, you know, am I viewing all this right? Is there another perspective I should be holding here? Is there something I'm missing? Is there something I'm not taking into account as well? Because this is quite one-sided. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying that, you know, we need to be well-rounded in all our perceptions and decisions for it to be continued in a healthy manner. That's all I'm suggesting. So I think that's what Temperance is telling you. Don't forget the other perspectives. Don't forget this, that and the other. It is boring. She is the fun police. So anyhow, we all get those type of feelings in our lives, especially when we're having a really happy time. The other thing about Temperance, she does talk about the need to balance diet as well, I often think, and especially water. So for some of you, taking on board extra water could be really beneficial. Detoxifying the body if you've been partying a little bit too hard. Spending time outdoors, especially by water or in the mountains. And if you're in the northern hemisphere where it's really cold, and you don't like the cold outdoors, go outside for a little bit and feel the, you know, exhilaration of that freezing cold air, and just know that you're breathing it in and your body is warm, and you know you're alive and well, and you can survive this cold air, cold turbulent weather around you. So enjoy wherever you are weather-wise, and get outdoors and still appreciate the glory of Mother Earth's seasonal patterns of life, because that's another perspective of Temperance. You know, appreciating every season of our life for whatever reason, and not disallowing it and not being connected with it. So there you are, Sagittarius. That's the tarot part of your reading. Let's put these away and see what the final card is going to be. So we will shuffle here, and we will take from the 8th one down again. One more. Okay. This is it. What is it going to be? Really nice. A beautiful card. Reminds me a little bit of the Temperance with that gorgeous angel sitting outdoors. I love the colour palette on here. Light bright pinks and the blue and the greens in the background. But it's kind of a little bit similar to the Temperance card, that she's outdoors and sitting in nature, and there's a body of water in the background. So I think that message is important for you to consider. I'll focus on the words first and we'll read them. You have been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood and motivation at a consistently high level. Wow, I really love that, and it is very resonant of the Temperance card, because I talked about Temperance as being in balance, and especially in balance with emotions, and she also is kind of saying that. And we talked about, you know, you had so many emotional cards in your reading, and to make sure life was fully balanced. So in doing things like that, you do have the opportunity to then reward yourself for keeping everything in good order. And the giving and receiving is truly the gift of life, because life is the eternal cycle of giving and receiving. And the more we give, the more we receive. But you have to be open to receiving it. So it is important to sit back and reflect and allow, you know, other people's love and support and energy and happiness to play a role in your own enjoyment. So they are clearly saying to reward yourself as well. So not to think of others all the time and to take some time out. I think the rewarding is a little bit of time out in a beautiful spot of nature and feeling the pleasure of that grounded feeling and just the euphoria and bliss that being in nature can offer. But also, if you have the money and you can reward yourself with a treat, you know, like a spa or a massage or a healing service, or going to a movie, or going on a weekend retreat, or you know, getting your hair cut or having a facial, anything like that is also a reward for your own body and soul. It nurtures it. So I think you've had a really nice reading with a lot of talk about you in particular and about how you deal with your emotions, I guess, and the people around you, and also how you need to think about yourself and take the time out, spend some time with yourself and nature, and reward yourself. So there we are, Sagittarius, a pretty good way to start the new year with these eclipses pummeling us all and the changes that are coming, and receiving that ace as well. So thank you all for listening. Do check your moon and rising signs. You'll be surprised to see what comes up there. And I love it when you leave your comments, and thank you for liking and subbing the channel. So I wish you all a very happy new year. Thank you for tuning in and keeping in touch. Much love, everyone. Namaste.